Well, welcome back to the channel. Thanks as always for clicking on the video. It's great to be back outdoors. As you can see, I'm hammock camping on this one. Ticket to the Moon compact quilt, Ticket to the Moon tarp and Ticket to the Moon hammock. Really quick introduction to the company from Bali, and it's a real family business. There's a whole community kind of ethos behind it, you know, employing local labour, ethically produced, ethically paid, sustainable. And the quilt on this one, it's an underquilt for the hammock, and normally bring a sort of foil backed sort of foam mat, especially at this time of year because there's still a bit of a chill into the evenings. But thought process behind the underquilt is it envelops the hammock when you lie in it and adds some insulation from the cold air, the cold breeze, and keeps you hopefully nice and snug and warm. This is a synthetic quilt, animal free. I'll leave all the specs below if you're interested in any of their equipment, but it's top quality, really well put together, and it's really nice hammock gear. If you're into your hammock camping, this is sort of the luxury, the gold standard in my view of your hammocking equipment. So yes, I'm looking forward to relaxing as time goes on in this lovely section of woodland that I'm in. We've got a nice couple of beers and a nice look what we found meal to boil up, but this one is really just all about relaxation and mindfulness. Now, I'm not sure where the mic's going to pick it up, but there's woodpeckers, curlew, and the forest is coming to life with the sights and sounds of spring, which is always nice, always relaxing, and it's so pleasant just to be out in this environment. So hope you enjoy this one. I'm going to try and make or convey the relaxation, the full hammock camping experience in the video. Probably keep the talking down on this one, and yeah, hope you enjoy it. If you've got any questions, just ask below, but I'm just going to have a little bit of a relax and I'll speak to you again shortly. So that's a better configuration for me. There's some nice tidies just sewn in like a triangular flapper material on the back, so your loose guys and your cordage, you can simply wrap it up, tuck it in that pocket, and there's a little bit of a lid, a fabric lid that goes over. So yes, all done. Absolutely. I mean, hammock camping, you know, most of the videos on the channel I've been tent camping, but you know, I have always been hammocking. I used to watch a channel, still do on occasion, Shug Emery, absolute legend, really clever, interesting, articulate man, and he has lots of hammock adventures over in the United States of America, and yeah, he's the master of all things hammock. So I started getting into it, and what I like about it is that, you know, the terrain, you're not sort of constrained by flattish ground, rocks, wet boggy ground, because of course you're suspended in the air. All you need is some trees, so it's a really sort of versatile and clever way of camping. Basically, it lets you camp in some really imaginative places if you put your mind to work. So it's great. If you've never done it, try it. It's probably the most comfortable and relaxing night's sleep that you'll ever have. A lot of people think they'll just fall out. All those cartoon imagery sort of comes to mind of people spinning around. I mean, having said that, I'll probably fall over later. But you know, it's not like that. It's really relaxing. It's so nice. So I encourage you all to give it a go. And if you've got any questions about it, just let me know in the comments, obviously below the video. I've got some nice craft beer, a little bit of red. Like I say, a look what we found meal to boil up on the Soto Windmaster, coupled with the MSR Titan kettle and a boil in the bag rice. Really cheap, quick and easy. Just chuck it in the one pan, boil it up for 10 minutes, and by the time your rice is cooked, you've heated through your meal, which you can of course eat cold too. So all done, nothing left to do but just relax, soak up the atmosphere, look at the wildlife and just enjoy this time in the great outdoors. Got a lovely leather kneeling sit mat, again off my friend Anders, thank you very much. If anyone's interested in the rucksack that I'm using on this, it's a Singi 48 by Fjallraven, one of my favourite outdoor brands. But yeah, we've got a nice Silk Road by Brewdog, that's really nice, a transient hazy DDH IPA, a lovely Rattling Rum that I had on the last camp, and a double hazy Jane. A real nice selection on this one. Just again, back to the hammock stuff, you probably noticed in the bags they're like sort of banana shaped, but it's hammock shaped. Just clever branding, nice compact packaging there. It's all done in the shape of the hammock, so it's all nice, recyclable, sustainable, reused materials, really nice. Enough waffling, I am really good at doing that. I live on my own with my little ones some of the time, and I spend a lot of time on my own, so I'm used to my own company. So I think these videos is kind of a way of, I don't know, being a bit more social. So there you go, because I don't get to have that much conversation. So there you go, get the violin out. I'm going to start with this one, the Silk Road Lychee and Mango Hazy IPA. Oh, it's just mouth-watering when you smell that. It's like an explosion of fruit. A fine drop, the Silk Road. Another thing about hammock camping, I suppose, it's worth touching on, is you can get quite technical, and a lot of people like that. It can be as complicated, I think, or as simple as you like. You can get really technical and complex suspension systems. You can get into the world of hammock ridge lines, tarp ridge lines, adjusting your ridge line for your hammock independently of the tarp to change the lay of your hammock. The eternal debate of the best lay, the best angles to achieve the nice flat lay when you go a little bit diagonal. It's a really complex and interesting subject if you're into this kind of thing. But you know, I like the way you've got your kind of your hammock ridge line on this is a bit of a utility system. So, and I've just stowed the bug net in mine, but there's a bit of a sort of a tray which can slide along this with holders for your phone. You can obviously clip your light on. I've clipped a little thermometer on there. But it's really handy, you know, cutlery, you know, your long handled sporks and stuff like that, just clip it on. Suspension wise on this one, it's tree huggers with a bit of daisy chain webbing on, so there's no faffing round. I actually prefer whoopee slings, funny name, whoopee sling, and that's essentially a Dyneema loop which goes back through itself with a bit of a bead, so it won't sort of go all the way through. And in short, you can just adjust the angle of your hammock at the head and feet end, really sort of infinite adjustments when you're using whoopee slings, whereas the daisy chain system on this, you know, you've got loops, so you've got steps as opposed to that infinite amount of adjustments. So horses for courses basically, but yeah, it's a bit more adjustable using other methods. But this is simpler, and sometimes simpler is better, so you can just whack it up, sit on it and enjoy. Cheers folks. a nice transient hazy DDH, I think it's double hopped IPA, double hopped India Pale Ale. It's a nice one, this again, pretty hazy. But there's a bit of cloud just rolling in off the local moorland, and there's the haunting call of curlew. It's like a really shrill, or that's not shrill, trill, like it's a lovely haunting call. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like a wavering call which sort of rises in tone, but it's a really nice bird, got a big long bill, but it's a really haunting sort of melancholy call, and it carries for great distances, so it's always nice to listen to them. You get them by where we go and stay in Anglesey with family on Red Dwarf Bay as well, so lovely birds and a really nice call. It's always nice to hear them. When you're out on the mountains or the fells at this time of year, skylark, they're out. That's a surefire way that, you know, that spring's on its way. The sound of the skylark as they do their aerial dance, and you can hear them. It doesn't half carry. It's a lovely call. Always good to try and, if you can, familiarise yourself with the local sort of bird life and wildlife in the areas that you're going out camping in. This has got about a minute to go. We'll be getting into it, but for the beer, I mean, I've had loads of them, so it's lovely. All the ones I'm using on this trip I've got from my local Morrison's. Got a decent selection in there as well now, so a couple of northern monks too, and it's got a bit of a kick to it, this one, so it's nice and warm. It's a good one to have in the colder months. That was quite warm. I need to put some of that insulating sort of tape on the handles. That's my one criticism of the Titan kettle. The handles always heat up. And then it's just a case of giving it a nice stir up. And I think these are like a couple of quid, it's like £1.90, something like that. And it's got fresh ingredients, real ingredients, nice seasoning, and real decent chunks of chicken in it, herbs, spices. It's a much cheaper alternative to the dehydrated meals, which, although they're nice and they are very light in weight, they can be very expensive. So if you're on a budget, you can see some of these, and it's always worth stocking up on them. You know, just grab a few if you can, but it's lovely as always, never disappoints. Cheers everyone. We are losing the light. It's golden hour, and this lovely pastel shades of light rolling off the moors and down into camp. There's so much bird life, quite a lot of coastal birds here. It's like oyster catchers been flying over, quite a lot of them. Black-headed gulls, and there's some reservoirs a little bit further on from where I am. Obviously curlew, woodpeckers, lesser spotted woodpeckers, lots of jays, magpies, great tits, blue tits, really rich in bird life. I'm going to start bringing the binos, start reading up. I used to be one of those like geeky kids that used to read about birds, mushrooms, trees, all that stuff. I know it's a bit weird, isn't it? But I've always had an interest in that. But I'd love to. I've got some decent binoculars. Start reading up on, you know, identifying birds. Again, some different ones by the calls and stuff like that. So yeah, something interesting, a nice little hobby, isn't it, to do when you're out? Just adds a kind of new dimension to your hobby. Look at all this. Look at all this sap, this pine resin, which is kind of seeped out the tree and crystallised. If you ever want a good fire starter, get bits of that on your knife, your kindling, try and smear it on. Sometimes you'll see sort of globules like that, bits of that really sticky resinous substance that comes out of wounds and stuff on the tree. There's a bit more there, you can see it glinting in the light, but I'm obviously not having a fire on this camp. I'm keeping it relatively stealthy. I don't want to draw attention to the fact I'm here, give away sort of, you know, my location with a plume of smoke kind of drifting off. So there's no fire tonight. It's just me and myself for company. I've got a little book. I'm just going to put some tunes on and just chill out in the hammock, enjoy the rest of my beer, a little bit of red, and then yeah, get some good kip. Pleased with the old configuration of the tarp now. I think it was the right decision just to pull it back a bit and then create this, as you can see, a bit of a back wall just to cut out that breeze which is drifting in. Not much more to do than just to relax. As the sun just setting through the trees there, absolutely magical, priceless, great memories, a great time in the great outdoors. I'm going to enjoy the sunset and I'll probably speak to you before lights out. Well, we're right into dusk. It's been really relaxing. Just want to sit on my charger there. Just watching the light sort of fade away. And yeah, just listen to the different sounds as the light leaves the forest. Nice and relaxing, really cosy, really nice and warm. Got my down jacket on from this anorak. The quilt was nice and warm when you sat on that, and I'm I'm using my Enlightened equipment quilt for this camp, so that should be good. I've got a little bit of red. I'm going to have a little bit of that, have some peanuts, and just catch up on some tunes, some podcasts, and just relax. If I don't speak to you again, I will see you in the morning. The weather should be okay. There's a bit of rain forecast in the afternoon, but we'll be up and away early on. So yeah, just going to enjoy the rest of the evening and hopefully have a good night's sleep in this really relaxing hammock system. I'll catch you in the morning. Good night. Well, good morning everyone. That was a really nice sleep, really comfy. I was nice and warm. There's a bit of a breeze picked up during the night, really cold breeze, but it was coming from behind me, so the tarp did a good job of kind of cutting that out a bit. And then I had the extra warmth obviously of the underquilt and my down quilt on top of that as well, so nice and toasty. I slept in my insulated trousers and my insulated jacket, so yeah, nice and warm, nice and relaxing, and a really peaceful and nice experience sleeping in a hammock, certainly solo in a forest as well. I'm going to get a brew on and get packed away, but I've had a really enjoyable camp. We'll fire up the stove and get a nice warm coffee down us. Well, that is the end of another micro adventure in our great outdoors, and it's reminded me just why I love hammock camping so much. And there's something a little bit special about it when you come on your own and there's a bit of pine woodland, and you can just hear that soundtrack of the breeze through the pine needles throughout the camp. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you have, give it a quick thumbs up, leave a comment. I'll try and get back to every single one, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Take care.